Hello there and welcome to today's polymer clay tutorial in which I'll be making some more Christmas tree ornaments, and this time it's Jack Skellington and Oogie Boogie, of course from the Nightmare Before Christmas, so let's go get started. To start, I'll just make one of the backs of the ornament, so I've got some really nice silver clay here. And I'm going to use the flower shape of my cookie cutter here, and once that's done I'm just going to go around the sides with my small ball tool here just to ensure that it's all kind of neat really. And with a smaller cookie cutter I'm just going to cut out the centre like so, and I'll pop in some black polymer clay. And I need to ensure that the clay is sticking well together, so I'm just going to go over with my acrylic roller just to really try and coax that together. And as this is a Christmas tree ornament, I need to ensure that there's some holes in there, so I'll just pop in some plot holes with my needle tool and then go through with my small ball tool, and that's the back done. I'm going to start by making Oogie Boogie, so I just need to try and fashion a shape like so, and it's probably easier if I just pop my baking sheet in the background just so you can see what I'm doing, because I work with a white background usually. So I've got a shape that I'm pretty happy with for his head, and I'm going to pop on a couple of they're kind of like teardrop shaped pieces of clay for his eye area, so I'll just pop those on. And I need to really try and sort of coax those pieces of clay together with my ball tool here, and I'll use a wet wipe as well. So that's coming together pretty nicely. It's just worth investing just a few moments to really try and push that clay together really. And I'll pop on some eye sockets, and again they're kind of like teardrop shaped really, but pretty small. And now I'm going to work on his mouth, so I've got my needle tool here really to try and work out the shape of the mouth more than anything. So I just need to ensure that it's nice and wide. And with my scalpel I'm going to start trying to dig out some of that clay, which can be a little fiddly, so I'll just keep going with that. And then just try and pull that out like so. So I've got quite a nice recess here, so with my small ball tool I'm just going to start pressing down just to ensure that there's no sort of cracks or anything in the clay, just to make it nice and smooth. And I just need to try and work out a shape with black clay that will fit into the recess well, and once that's done I'll then just try and sort of press that down with my small ball tool here. I'm going to give him a bit of a bottom lip like so, so I just need to just basically pop that over and press down, and again with a wet wipe I'm just really trying to pull that clay together really. So I've got some light brown clay here just to try and work out like a seam line really on Oogie Boogie's head, and I'll create some stitching effects as well. And I'll do the same on his mouth, just with the grey clay. And it's really starting to resemble him now, I think. So it's almost done, so I just want to really try and create a little curl at the top here, just before I pop that onto the base, or the backing. So now I want to create a few Christmassy kind of pieces for the ornaments, so I'm going to make a couple of candy canes but in kind of Nightmare Before Christmas colours really. So I've got a grey, a white and some purple, and I'll just twist that like so and then start rolling it, and I'll keep rolling and twisting until I've got an effect that I'm happy with really. And I've got a couple of lengths and I'll just bend them over like so and cut to size. And I'll just basically then just try and plot out where I want them to go on the ornaments. And you can add as many of these as you like, or as few. So I want to create a couple of purple stars now, so I've got a little cutout tool here, and I have a list of the tools that I use pretty frequently down below in description. And I want the stars to be basically smaller than they are here. So what I'm going to do is to basically use the outsides as a trace and just keep going round until they're smaller and smaller basically. So now they're of a size that I'm happy with, so I can just start adding those to the ornament as well. And I think this one needs a couple of white stars as well, just to really make the piece pop. And if you're worried at all about the outside clay not sticking to the central piece, you can always add on a few kind of rivets really, just with the grey clay as I'm doing here. It's just really to try and ensure the overall integrity of the Christmas tree ornaments. And to make it even more Christmassy, although it's, you know, also a Halloween piece, but I'll just add some tiny dots of white polymer clay on just to represent snow. And there we go, Oogie Boogie is all done, and I'll pop him just to one side while I work on Jack Skellington. So again, I'm just going to pop my baking sheet in the background just so you can see what I'm doing. So I've got kind of like a round piece of clay here, and I'll just use a wet wipe to ensure that it's nice and clean. And Jack has got some enormous eye sockets going on, so just going to plot out where I want those to go first before really going in with my medium-sized ball tool here to create some really deep recesses. And I've got my large ball tool here as well that I'm just going to use pretty lightly just to make the sockets look a little more appealing really. And I'm just going to pop in some little balls of black polymer clay like so. And once I'm happy with the size and the placements, I'll use my medium size ball tool just to really push those in like so. And it makes them look more like sockets rather than sort of black eyeballs really. And now it's time for his nose, or rather his nasal cavities. So I've got some really tiny pieces of black polymer clay here. There we go. And for his mouth, I've got quite a sort of long stretch of black polymer clay again. So I just need to firstly work out where I want that to go to make it look really smiley, but also really neat. And once I'm happy with the positioning, I'll just add on some little stitching with the black polymer clay again. And these have to be really quite tiny. And I'll just finish that off with the last little stitch. And it certainly looks like Jack Skellington now, so I'll add that to the backing. So I'm going to give Jack Skellington a neck just with a little piece of clay, and I'm just going to give him a bow tie, but I'm going to make this as sort of simple in design as possible really, so you can see what I'm doing. So I just need to ensure that there's sort of 3 prongs on there, and I'll just attach those onto the bottom of his neck. And I want to create a little bow as well, just so it kind of makes it look a little bit neater really. So I've got 2 stretches of black polymer clay here, and I'll just bend them round like so, and I'll attach those just to the bottom of his neck, and then just finish that off with a tiny piece of clay. And here is where I lost a load of footage for some reason. The file corrupted, so I'm sure you can get the idea of how it came together really. But Jack Skellington and Oogie Boogie are all ready to bake. And at this point you'll need to refer to your own brand of polymer clay's baking instructions. So now they're out of the oven and all baked and cooled, so I'm just going to pop through some festive yarn so I can hang them to the tree. Just take the ends off, and there we go. And here they are all done, and I'm super pleased with these, and I hope you like them too. Give it a like if you got this far, and I'll see you again soon.